Yes. And for this purpose, I have to repeat what I've just said. Welcome to this conference again. And this is a conference about how you can join our financial planning career. And I'm shooting it because there may be some prospect in the future who may also be interested. And I'm also appreciate if you could send this link or send this video in the future to your friends and colleagues and to invite them to think about, consider joining our profession. And we have a few guests uh, in the webinar so far, and I appreciate James, Pony, and a few others who have invited friends to join our conference. And this is a conference will take about some 30-45 minutes, and you have a chance to ask questions on any time if you turn on your mic. I have upgraded all of you as guests, so now you can speak freely to each other and to me. And just a check to see if you can receive clearly my message and see if you are still around. Would you put a 1 in your dialog box so that I know you are listening? Because all I see is your picture. If you don't mind, you can turn on your video camera so that I can know, I can read your beautiful face. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. All of you are here. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, yes, please turn on your video camera. I want to see your shiny face and your beautiful face, if you don't mind. Good. Thank you. Now, let's get to the topic. Today we have 5 agendas and a question and answer sessions. And first of all, I need to share with you what I know about financial planning, why this is important, why this is important in growing business that may be better than any other professions that I'm familiar with. So why financial planning, number one. Then, why become a financial planner and registered with AIA? What's the attraction? What benefits can you get from AIA? And in AIA, there are many teams, many families, and we need to address the issue. Why joining my team, which is a part of the Jack family? Why Jack family? And then what you can do? How can you make your first $1 million? And after that, you can raise any questions you have, and let's discuss that. Um, what I have in mind is not just to convince you that our industry is so attractive that you must join us. To me, financial planner has a very prudent and noble objective in my life. I want to help as many people I can help to we equip them with all the financial resources and financial tools so that they can realize their dreams and so that they can lay off their worries in life. And that is my purpose. And if you share this purpose, welcome to join me, to join our family. And it's more than about making money. It's a life vision that I want really to help as many families that we can get. So that's why I got into financial planning many years ago. I started my career in banking in a branch as a branch manager, as a customer service staff. Then I joined AIA Beijing as a financial planner, starting from scratch, from ground zero. I attended the classes there and become a financial planner in Beijing. I made my MDRT in my second year of service there. And after that, because I left my home for so long a time that I have returned to Hong Kong. So I dropped my team in Beijing and went back to Hong Kong and to become an insurance manager, insurance general manager of MetLife in Hong Kong. And that I started to learn about brokerage, the business management for insurance business. Then I returned to Guangzhou and become a senior vice president in Guangzhou, the MetLife Guangzhou branch, and stayed there for 4 years. And then I returned to Hong Kong again because my religious belief. I became a church pastor for 10 years, and Nearly, almost considering retirement, I was invited to join this AIA financial planning services again about 2 years ago. And why I'm so keen on financial planning? Because here's a chart. Everyone is going a life cycle. Every human life in this world is going through a life cycle. Well, life is a game, you can say. Everyone has a start. Everyone has an end. You cannot escape it. From starting from your baby, become a kid, become a youngster, going to college, graduate, then you have your business career for 20, 40 years, and then you become retired. You can play golf, and then you are sick, and then you will die. In every stage of your life cycle, there are certain risks. Risk of sickness, risk of economic crisis, risks of financial downturns, risks of your illness of your family, and the passing away of your parents. It will happen, and you will bear children, you will raise children, and you have to raise the education for them, and that requires a lot of resources. So everyone go through this stage. There is no way to get around it. So before you graduate from the college, we call it a foundation stage, where you have no money, you depend on your parents, uh, and and you just wish that you can have good education and graduate from a good school with the adequate skills and knowledge to enter into the job market. But once you're in the job market, there are many industry, many jobs you can do, depending on your interests and maybe your luck. You join industry, and that's rising in your corporate corridor. Well, some wise men, I'm not one of them. Some wise men have started to learn that you cannot make a fortune by just working as an employee. Someone will start a business themselves, like Ma Yun, the Chinese richest person, started his business when he was just a few years after graduation. And it took him about 15 years before he can find the Alibaba business model, and then promoting Chinese products, exporting Chinese products, and creating international trade for the Alibaba. So he started his business. Right now, this business has made him a billionaire in China. And maybe you are one of them. You could have the uh, instinct or talents to become one of the business entrepreneurs. Or you can be a professional building your own business, so that when you retired, you not only have a business, you can have time to play your golf and to spend time with your family. So during the life planning stage, you have to make enough money to save enough money, invest enough money for your retirement. Then you have, once you reach the retirement age, we call it a senior adult. Someone's retired at 60, 65, then you have 20, 25 years to go, and you have to enough financial resources, we call it cash flows, to support your retirement life. And throughout these years, you face a lot of risks: financial risks, job market risks, economic downturn, sickness, accident. Um, well, you will have to face it. And there are risk management strategies that you cannot avoid, but you could, through insurance and financial planning, transfer some of the risk to an insurance company, so that whenever unfortunate happened, you will be protected. And that's the business. That's our business, helping the people going through the life cycle, and then helping them to transfer and mitigate the financial risk and all the physical and psychological and financial risk to an insurance company. And that's what we are doing. And that's what we do best as a financial planner. So far, give me a 1 if you are following, so that I know you are following me. Will you? Thank you. Thank you. All right, good. Next night, wealth management. For some of the richest people in town, and as a matter of fact, they are many, meaning that they are more than, in terms of population percentage, there are more high net worth individuals in Hong Kong than elsewhere in the world. Why? Because of the low tax situation in Hong Kong. Hong Kong tax rate is 15-17%, while if you stay as a resident in other countries, your tax rate is 45% if you stayed in America, if you stayed in England, or if you stayed in Canada. So that's why all the rich people do become a Hong Kong tax resident. And for these, they go through their life stages, they build up their cash, build up their assets, they grow their assets, they have to diversify it, they have to protect it from being eroded by inflation, by all the economic downturns, interest rate risks, and then you have enough money to enjoy the life, and then they want to distribute it to their children, to their family, and become a legacy. And throughout those stages, you need to plan for the taxation, not to suffer from heavy tax. And that's why they have to choose where to live, what kind of life they're going to live. And these rich people are the best clients we can find in our financial planning career. And I'm sure if you want to grow as a professional financial planner, you need to deal with these high net worth individuals, and you need to do business with them, get along with them, and know a lot of them so that their financial issues, and you can help them to solve their financial issues. So married people, 40, 50 years old, they are the most profitable potentials, prospects that you can ever meet. Estate planning. Estate planning is for the richest in town. And what you can do is to help them to put the personal properties, real estate, life insurance, whatever they have in their financial assets, put in a pool, mix it, package it, so that they can meet the legacy needs, they can overcome the death taxes, accounting fees, appraisal fees when the day that they pass away. And this estate planning is one of the major area for the richest people in town. And if you can get into the business through insurance and family trust, and you can help them, and you will be good friends of them because they trust you. You know what? The best moment of our life as a financial planner is not by doing a plan for them, and that's easy. It's just building trust and with your client. But the best moment is that when you present the claim checks, the death certificate to the family, the hundreds of millions of dollars they have saved and they have transferred through the insurance as the best moment of your life moments. And that's the best time that I ever remember, when I presented the $1 million check to a young professional lady in the Hong Kong Management Authority with $1 million check for the cancer, the breast cancer that she was suffering. And that moment I will never forget. So why doing financial planning in Hong Kong? If you compare some country statistics, we call the policy held per capita per person in the country. In Japan, which is a very old age country, average person hold 6.5 policies. It could be a life policy, a accident policy, a retirement policy, a savings policy, and critical illness policy. 6.5 policies. So they're fully covered. And in the United States, 5 policies. Germany, 5 policies. And because they are matured business market, so they know insurance, very common. But in Hong Kong, I guess the most of the clients have a savings, have some sort of critical illness, and no, none of them have an accident. Maybe some of them have an accident, and some of them have a policy for the children, for education fund, for the housewife. So average, we're talking about 2.8 to 3 policies per family, and that's low. You know, that is really no. You cannot cover all the risks in your whole life. You do not save enough for your retirement. But in China, look at the number. China has 140 million people, and on average, per capita base, they hold less than 1%. one, but less than one case, less than one policy in life. And that's obviously very insufficient. But on the other hand, if you look at the matured market like the Japan, USA, what is the new policy growth rate? It's very, very low. We're talking about a zero negative growth in these matured markets. Negative growth meaning that there are more claims and new funds getting into the business. So is it a prosperous business to be a life insurance agent in Japan, in USA, in Germany? Not anymore, because you are just busy handling claims. So for a mature market, the market penetration is very high and you will hardly get any new business. But in cities like Hong Kong and China, and if you talk to any prospect, you can easily spot the gaps in their insurance cover. You can find your market, and particularly for the affluent population in Hong Kong, we're talking about the high net worth individuals in Hong Kong. You can get to them, know them, and they will make asset protection insurance. They will know diversification insurance. They will know legacy transfer, estate planning. For those businesses, you will get no more than many cases from the family. If they have large family, then you're good luck. You can do a lot of business for them. And one of my biggest clients in my portfolio is a rich family, and then I become the financial planner for the father, for the mother, for the son, for the daughter, and for the children. So whole family. And for countries that have the highest economic growth, they afford to buy more insurance. So in China market, in Hong Kong market, for the past few years, is a very affluent market, meaning that people have sufficient money to put aside for savings for retirement if you come to them and then be able to convince them. So in terms of per capita income growth, the highest rate is in Asia, particularly in China and probably in Hong Kong because of low interest rate and because of the low tax rate in Hong Kong. And for the China, you know that a lot of rich people have become very rich by doing business in China, by selling their lands to the government for the redevelopment project. So these fast-growing market, that is very obvious. If you look at Hong Kong, financial services is one of the four pillars in an industry. In financial services, we talk about banking, private banking, merchant banking, investment banking, securities, and of course, insurance. And the other three are tourism, trade and logistics and business services. But financial services occupied about 20% of our GDP, and insurance probably taking account of about half of them. 10% of our GDP are from insurance. If you look at the market, how large is the market? If you look at the people, 2 years ago when I joined the industry, we have less than 70,000 insurance agents, licensed individual agents 2 years ago. Right now, with 86,075 insurance agents as of July 31st. So more than 15,000 people have joined the industries. And because there's an upgrade in the qualification requirement, and that attracted a lot of professionals, bankers, to join our professions. If you look at the right charts, let me take away. If you look at the right chart numbers, and the best thing is that not all of them are in life insurance business. Some of them in general business, some of them are in long-term business, but cannot provide linked, meaning investment link, long-term business. So there's a vast opportunity there. If you can get all the license, become a fully professional life insurance agent, you can do all the business, long-term business, general business, investment link business, and even a car, motorcycle business. Then you become fully professional. And not all of them are fully licensed. If you look in the number, I'm going to show you. This is a chart I just picked out from the Insurance Authority. If you look at the first table, is about type of insurance: whole life insurance, endowment insurance, term insurance, other insurance. And the statistics we have from 2014 to 2018, from $52 billion, $52.7 billion to $99.4 billion. What is the growth rate? Average 17% compound growth rate. And imagine, what other industries can you achieve a compound growth rate of 15%? No, I can think of hardly any business have a stable, every time growing. This is a rich market there. For the investment link business, whole life endowment is growing from 10 to $16 billion, $16.6 billion. There's another 11%. So there's in investment market there, people have started learning about fund management, fund investment through the MPF account, yet not many people really understand it. Many people make use of it. So there's another huge market of fund investment. We call it investment link insurance, life insurance, as part of your investment portfolio, enjoying a double-digit growth every year. Look at this pie. Really amazing. If you look at the number of cases, number of policies, there are a lot of general insurance policies like car, motorcycle insurance, accident insurance, that kind of thing. But in terms of dollar cents, long-term business is about 90% of the pie. So if you are a financial planner and you're not registered with an insurance company doing long-term business, insurance business, well, probably you are off the market. You cannot make enough money. There's a large market, a huge market that is growing. That is a lot of hidden needs. You can tap on it. And that's why we are sure that we have growing career in the financial industry, in the insurance and financial planning services industry. It's a huge market. It's a growing market. Is not so many people have penetrated fully into all the possibility of the business in terms of investment link business, in terms of long-term business, in terms of general business for the corporations in Hong Kong, for the employees in Hong Kong. That is where the market is growing. Look at this chart again, the business mix. Well, in terms of cases, percentage of insurance agents, number of persons, all the people, what do? They do, well, 61% do commercial employee benefits, 82% of the agents do motor vehicle insurance, travel insurance, 61% of agents do that, accident insurance, 54%. So one out of two person will write some accident policy. But look, only 27% of agents, 23% of agents are engage in investment link, ILS, investment link insurance policy. And only 16% of our agents are doing traditional life insurance business. You know, this business occupies 90% of the pie, and only 23% of them are doing this kind of business. So why not? Why not join? It's so much fun. It's so huge a market that we can tap into, right? Well, another factor is hospital needs. If you look at the numbers, people are getting older. So people admitting to the hospitals are growing like a straight line, like the sky rocket line. And in the future, just the Hong Kong public government hospitals cannot accommodate them. The government is doing everything they can to push the people back to the commercial hospital, to the business hospital. And that's why they provided the tax incentive for people to buy the medical policy, hospital policy, health policies in insurance companies. And this, I'm sure, this straight line will go straight up, boom, boom, boom. And so, if you meet a client 10 out of 10, if you talk about the medical policy, they will listen to you 100% because they need it one way or another. And there are the three factors supporting our financial industry's growth. One is the MPF, corporate market and employee contributions. Every company, every business in Hong Kong, there are 3 million people working in Hong Kong. 3 million people have an MPF account. and every month they are contributing money into it, but they never know where the money go. They never know how much they can make. Many of them are losing money from the MPF market because they are not managing it. And for the corporate market, a lot of, well, every dollar you paid into the MPF market, the company paid 2 times more. So there is double the size of the MPF market in business. If you come to know a lot of business owners, companies, and you will convince them to move their corporate MPF account to you, and you will make an MDRT. That's for sure. That's for sure. I'm now working on a company in Hong Kong with about 300 employees, and on annual the business contribution is about $9 million. If I convince them to move the $9 million to AIA to my personal service account, I will become a double MDRT for every year in the future. Double MDRT. Just that simple. If you just convince one person, one company to move the money around. So how easy is it? And the second point is that the tax deduction voluntary health insurance pushed out by the Hong Kong government give tax deduction benefits to all the people, every working class, every family members of the working class. They can get tax deduction. So there's a huge incentive for them to buy the health insurance policy or upgrading the health insurance policy. And the three levels of the policy: the basic standard plan, the flexi plan, and the prime plan. And for health policy, it's a lifelong policy, and you will make commissions from their contributions, from the premiums, lifelong. And that is why the beauty of it, the attraction of it, for this health insurance policies. And not to mention, not to let alone to talk about the mainland Chinese insurance. And about 50% of the Hong Kong new insurance premium come from China, mainland China residents. Why do they come to Hong Kong? I'll show you in a minute. Why do mainland Chinese buy insurance in Hong Kong? Why do they buy policies in the mainland China? There's a lot of reasons, and that's why a lot of people are attracted to Hong Kong. For one, for Hong Kong, we have lower premium for the same amount of protection. We give them high amount, $4 million US without body check requirement. Well, how do you can 44 million US? That is about 30 million Hong Kong. And if you buy 10 million Hong Kong, 5 million renminbi, they will check your body to death. Now, that's for sure. And then the next one is higher return, because the Hong Kong policy, we have US dollar policy. In China, they don't have US dollar policy. For US dollar policy, you can invest in US dollars in the world market. And in China, you cannot invest outside China. So that's really, really restricted in terms of investment that insurance company can make. One is no estate tax. If you put the money in Hong Kong, put your insurance money in Hong Kong, the China government will not know about it. And we have more comprehensive medical cover. We have better critical illness cover than Chinese policies. And we have tighter supervision in Hong Kong by the insurance authority. And the claims will be handled in a very professional and very transparent way. You know how much money you can get and why you can get those claims, and then you can be your offshore investment outside China. So there are many reasons for the mainland Chinese people to come to buy a Hong Kong policy. Right now, because of the gate block in the immigration, in the Lok Ma Chau, the Chinese border, gate locked. But in the past, you look at these pictures. Wow, they just rushed in. Every customer service center for the Chinese people are always overcrowded with people. Always like this. They serve from 9 to 6 p.m., even open on Saturdays and Sundays. You will always find a queue there. So this is a customer service center serving the mainland Chinese policyholders. So to conclude, why insurance planning? Because every people go through basic life changes and life needs. They need insurance to mitigate the risks. There are a growing number, an aging population, high enough individuals. and many of them, mostly Hong Kong citizens and also Chinese, mainland Chinese citizens, they are underpenetrated, low policy cover, and they need retirement, they need critical illness cover, and Hong Kong residents need tax deduction health insurance, and there is a huge underserved individual and corporate MPF market, and we are only a city that can serve two markets, the local market and the mainland Chinese market. So if you have any questions about this part, why financial planning in Hong Kong, you can post it in the discussion box and I will come back to it just before you forget. The next topic. Okay, to conclude, the forces. One other benefits of staying in the financial planner. And in a business, in a profession, and you were always concerned about how fast you can move forward. And in the financial planning business, you cannot stay without moving. The market will move you, the regulators will move you, the insurance company will creating new plans, new products to move you, and there are financial technology forces that push you forward. And on top of that, you have your own personal dreams and your personal goals to make your first million, to make your second million, to make your 10 million, $20 million in your life. And for those who have worked, they say in 3 years, maybe 2 or 3 years, if you can stay in the business, some people quit because they cannot make enough money. But for those who stayed, I would say if you can stay in more than 2 or 3 years, your income will not less than $1 million. Your income will not be less than $1 million. And we have here in this group a person who made her first $1 million in the first month she joined AIA. So that's legend. That is a legend. You cannot stay put. You must move forward because the forces are behind you to push you forward faster than any other business in the world, probably. Eh? Why do they drop me out? Let's get back. All right. Now let's turn to another topic. If you decided that you want to join the financial services, then you can consider which one. What happened? I'm using an old file. Sorry. Comes to this end. All right. I have to switch file, maybe. Sorry. 1 moment for that. I don't know why. Give me 1 moment. I need to change files because my files in a PC. Maybe we can take a break for 3 minutes. Relax, go to the toilet, and I will change files. Sorry for that. Come back in 5 minutes.